Hi, I'm Mark from Maxava. I'm going to present some information about our products. Maxava HA Release Update, October 2025. These enhancements have been added to the latest PTFs. Change in processing for INZ PFM operations. The INZ PFM operation had been treated as a member operation. This meant if the member was opened, it needed to be closed prior to replaying the INZ PFM operation. For some applications, allocating record position before performing the write, i.e. add delete record using INZ PFM, before adding the record could result in poor performance for the replay activity. The INZ PFM replication is now treated as a database action and performed without the need to close the open member. Description audit change to object text. Changes to object text is now done via the QLIC OBJD API rather than using the command change object D. Spool file replication. The page range start and end values have now been added to supported attributes list for changes for spool file attributes. Spool file replication audit journal. When using the audit journal, the system name parameter will be obtained from the audit journal and not the network attribute. Spool file replication sweeper. The sweeper function uses an API to retrieve the list of spool files on a named output queue. The API QUSL-SPL was found to have limitations of around 135K spool file. To process output queues with larger volumes of spool files, the sweeper process has changed to use the API QGYOL-SPL to support an unlimited number of spool files to exist in the output queue. Library management function. When using the library management server to seed a target, the process will now set the journal inheritance on the source if required. Management of configuration user space MXCFG. This is an i7.6 compatibility. Configuration user space MXCFG contains key attributes for each Maxava HA configuration. IBM OS release i7.6 has introduced an issue where the last change to the user space may not be saved to disk. The key area affected is the creation of new configurations, which would lose details when not saved to disk, which could cause the new configuration to become unusable. A change has been made to the configuration create process to ensure the last update to the configuration user space is forced to disk. This resolves the i7.6 compatibility issue. Other items addressed in this PTF. Role swap logging. A role swap would produce an audit report for a configuration. This was not always the case, and this has now been corrected to always create the log when the role swap occurs. Audit of menu attributes failing in a Japanese environment. To audit attributes, the display menu command is used to create a print output. For the Japanese table, this needs to be created as an IGC-DTA type. This has now been corrected. Create configuration library may fail. A conflict can occur in the create lib command for customers that have modified such as the command for the default ASP dev parameter. This has now been changed to support the default changes. Create SQL RPGI in the Japanese environment. The Create SQL RPGI command allows customers to create either a program or a service program. The default is star program. In the Japanese environment, the default was not always being seen correctly. Changes have been made to now search the command string and correct the issue with the default value. Library Summary Report created MX HA PTF being empty. The library summary report is empty. It does not show the libraries available on the system. This reporting functionality was used through QUSL OBJ API to obtain a library details. IBM made a change to the way the default parameters used to function. Changes have now been made to the MX HA PTF to now support the changes made in the OS 400. Please refer to the cover letter for more details. The features mentioned in this video are available in the following Maxava HA software versions by installing the related PTF level. As current PTFs have a new chain, refer to the cover letter for required co-requisite PTFs to be pre-installed. Thank you for your time.